Hey guys, we're getting ready to start. Just going to share this. Getting started a little bit early just so that people can start coming in. Let me just find everybody who's coming. Ready. Ooh, child. Thank you for joining. I got an early start just so people can start clicking in, but we're going to be starting at 3 p.m. today with the interview with Pappy Orion of Focus Congo. Yeah. But yeah, so I'll just play some music while we're waiting for everyone to get here, and then we'll start at 3. So thank you for your patience. I'll just put some music on. And for those of you guys who are interested in what I'm going to be playing, I've created a playlist of all of the songs that I'm aware of that are being used for fundraising campaigns or are just made by artists from disadvantaged groups. And it has a lot of my favorite activists on here. Not it played me first. That sounded so conceited. It played me second. It's on shuffle, I promise. Okay, here's another good one. I don't want to start off with me. But yes, once Mr. Pappy is here, we'll get started. But while we're waiting, if you guys have questions that you want me to ask Mr. Orion, feel free to drop them down. At the last few minutes of the interview, we'll be knocking out questions that are in the comments. So if you have any questions about ways you can help directly, what does volunteering with the organization look like, how to start your own campaign, if you have questions like those, just drop those in the comment section. And I hope everyone's having a good day. Thank you for everyone joining. Thank you guys for being so patient. We're going to be starting soon. Hi. Thank you for stopping by, Janelle. Could I maybe ask a question unrelated to the topic that's not disrespectful? Well, this in particular, I'm going live to ask Mr. Orion questions, but if you have questions that are more personal to me, I'll be going live again after the interview is over for any follow-up questions. So if you have questions that are specific to me, we can do that in the second live. All right, let me see if he replied. He's getting ready to come in, guys. Thank you for everyone coming through. Oh, don't feel bad for the interruption. I'm super open to questions, and I'll be going live again for anyone who has questions that are just for me. Okay, let's see. Is he here? So he's on the way. I think I set to start on time because he's ready. Oh, this is weird. Played me next. Hey, hey. I'm so sick of my excuses. I just Just a few more seconds, guys. Thank you, Emily. That's very nice of you. Once again, if you guys have questions for Mr. Orion, feel free to drop those in the comment section. We'll be doing a Q&A at the end of the interview. Hi, Charlie. Thank you for joining. Alright, you guys. We're getting ready, and I'm going to turn down the music. Alrighty. Mr. Orion, are you there?
Yeah, I just need to get the camera going.
Alright.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Oh, is the camera already working? What is happening? Oh no, let's do that. Like, set.
There you
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
I hope you're
Yeah,
doing good today. How are you?
yeah, I'm doing pretty good. A bit tired, but yeah, it's going. It's going.
I'm really happy to have you here. So, for those of you guys who might not know, Mr. Orion, Pappy Orion, he is the founder of Focus Congo, which is an organization based in Congo. And you can tell them a bit about yourself if you'd like.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm Pappy Orion. I was born in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo, in a region of South Kivu, really deep in a village. I wasn't born in a city, and yeah, I'm the founder of the Focus Congo, an organization based in Eastern Congo, working with the marginalized child soldiers, and currently we're working in the displaced camp in Goma. Yeah, that's briefly me.
Well,
Yeah.
great. And what I also know about Mr. Orion is that he is a very talented videographer and he uses film work to share the stories of Congolese people. Please follow him on his account, which is at Pappy Orion, and you guys will see all of the content coming out of there if you want to keep updated on what's going on in the refugee camps that Mr. Orion works with. Thank you again for showing up. I have a few questions for you, and if you want to skip over any of them, just let me know. But my
Yeah.
first question was, what was it like being a child when the first and second Congo Wars happened?
Mm. Oh man, that's a tough question. First of all, I need to thank you very much for the work that you're doing, and really putting Congo on the map, using your arts to support Congo organizations on grassroots doing great work, because, as you know, the war in Congo is a forgotten war, and not many people know about what is happening there. But to see someone like you really just really giving, and I know sometimes it's hard. People have been asking a question and where the money you raise, where it goes. But we are very grateful that we are one of the organizations that you have been supporting. Yeah, I just really want to say that and tell you that the work you're doing is very important. We need you as a Congolese. We always say "nous sommes ensemble," which means we are together in this. And so to go back to the question, uh, growing up, I was born in the war. And so when the war started, I was little. And also to go back, Congo has never really seen peace ever since 1800s, when the Berlin Conference was done, and Congo was given to the Leopold II as his own property. Uh, Ever since that period, it's just been a string of events that hasn't really favored the population of Congo. But in my case, before the war, I lived a relatively peaceful life with my family. 10 children in my home. So we were very, very busy. We had no fear. We played with each other until the war started, which really shattered everything. The joy that we had lived became became sorrow, and I, the place, my village, became better for the dead than the living, as I can say. Villages were cereblessed. The rebels came to villages and pillaged villages, and of course, as you know, a lot of rapes. So we experienced all of that, and there's stories that I can tell you, but with for this live, I think I'm not going to go into those details. But as a child, I experienced imaginable atrocities being done in my eyes. And one that I could remember that I tell you, when the war started, I was in a classroom, and we sat on banks, and I think we were about 5 kids on a bank. And the little kid that sat next to me, his name was Mushagalusa. That is in my mother tongue. We call Mashi, and Mushagalusa means joy. And so I remember, because we had aluminium roofs in our villages. So when it rains, and because in the middle of rainforest, it rains quite hard, and so we could hear the noises. And this particular day, we had a lot of noises, and we thought it was rain, but this was the beginning of the war. And I remember the teacher saying, "You need to start running because the war has started in our village." And we came out of the classroom and we started running. We got outside. There was people running in a different direction. We didn't know where they were going. And as I looked back, I saw my friend Mushagalusa, who sat next to me, was laying down. And I was like, I tried to go back and try to get him. The teacher told me, no, keep on running. And what I didn't know that he's been shot. And so a few weeks, calm came, and the teacher started telling us that Mushagalusa was shot dead, and we experienced that, and we just remember these events that we thought of the idea we'll never see Mushagalusa again, and it was a horrible, horrible time to know that now we've heard these stories of villages being taken by rebels, but this was our turn. Yeah,
I'm so sorry to hear about that, and you losing your
yeah,
friend at such a young age
yeah.
in a place of education. I think here in like the West, a lot of us take for granted how safe it was for a certain period of time. But
Mhm.
yeah, thank you for sharing that with us. It must have been incredibly difficult.
Yeah, it was very tough, very tough. Yeah.
I do know that you share more of your story in your autobiography, and I apologize if I don't pronounce this well because it's in German, but it's Flee Mein Sohn. Is that how it's
Yeah.
pronounced? Yes, and
Yes.
you know you wrote about your journey. Can you tell us about what other topics you might have touched on in that autobiography?
Uh, yeah. So in it, I really touched on a different topic, the escaping. I think when I can go a little bit into details is the fact that when the war started, there were a lot of different villages. So they were living in fear, and they wanted to protect themselves. And within that time, that's when a lot of also different arms groups started, because all these groups that have started to protect themselves, they have turned into a rebel group. And so if the village had food and your village didn't have food, so the stronger village will go and ransack the village that has food. And Also, it happened rape and stuff. So what I remember is that some rebels had come to my village and they captured my dad, my father, because they had accused him that he was accomplice with the government. And so at that time again, I was in a different village because my dad has moved me into a different village so that I can go and study. And so they sent someone to this village and came to the school and called me that your father was going to be executed the next day. And so I came running. It took us sometime 2 days to walk to this place from my home, but this time it took us just one day of walking to get to where my father was going to be executed. And as we got there, I saw women were crying and people were praying and just hoping that they will get to release my dad. But but for those who knew what these rebels could do, they knew that there is no hope of him being released. But the thing is, my uncle also had formed his own group, his own rebel group, one of the most dangerous arms group called Mai Mai, which means water. They believe to have had a supernatural power. They cannot die with bullet and stuff like that. And so my uncle have heard what has happened to my dad and summoned his soldiers and came to 5 minutes before my father was going to be executed. And my father was already put onto a cross upside down, and that's how he's going to be executed. And we were watching. And so 5 minutes, exact 5 minutes, my uncle showed up. And at that point, my uncle negotiated the release of my dad. And so my uncle became my hero. And I knew that my uncle was also part of the problem and was also a horrible man, was doing horrible stuff. But um, at this time, he has become my hero because he has released my dad. And so um, after that, they started recruiting young children like us. At this time, I'm only around 11, and so they started recruiting children. And for me, it was better to actually join the group that my uncle was leading, and so and was attractive for me. But if I wasn't joining that, then there was another group was going to capture me anyway. And so I've joined that my uncle group, and I saw children being initiated into the arms group, and found the enemy and being shot. And for some kids, if they manage to escape and they get caught, they'll be cut into pieces. And so all this experience that we had as a children was kind of crazy, but um, I'm happy that I'm still alive, even though I have experienced all of these things. So this is the beginning of the book, my life in Congo as a child, and all these things that I have experienced, be seeing my dad uh, almost getting killed, experiencing my sister, who was almost the same age as me, being raped by by two men, and other people being cut to pieces, and my friend Mushagalusa. So that is a beginning of no, actually the book begins with joy, like the peaceful life that I've lived, and then it transitions to the horrible, and the climax into the horrible situation that I've lived, and then it goes into the fleeing and the journey that I took from Congo, uh, going through Rwanda and Burundi and Lake Tanganyika, a journey which took me about 2.5 years, walking from Congo until getting to Cape Town, 2.5 years on feet. And sometime, of course, getting put into a back of a truck and getting to South Africa and experiencing life after apartheid, living on the streets of Cape Town, and almost also ending my own life there because It was horrible. I was abused there. I was in prison. It was very, very horrible life. But you know, again, I'm here because there was a family that found me on the streets in Cape Town and decided to take me in and again gave me education. And that's when I end up studying um, media to tell stories because I felt with media you could be able to reach out to more people, and so that's why I'm here, and that's what is in the that is what is in the book until Focus Congo.
Thank you. And
Yeah,
I definitely think everyone should read the book. It is extremely important that we inform ourselves on the stories of
yeah,
people who are from Congo so that we can be better allies. And I did read on your webpage your sister's quote about keeping hope alive. Can you speak a little bit more about her and how she impacted you?
yeah. So when I went back to Congo for the first time, and I have yeah, coming coming off the streets in South Africa, and you know, South Africa was now like my home. I mean, even though the experience that I had, but South Africa, Cape Town especially became my home. And so again, going back to Congo, it was like really, I didn't know what was happening there. I didn't even know if my parents were still alive. So I was just looking for them. I remember, no, actually going back, traveling from Cape Town, South Africa, with a team of friends and going exactly the same way that I took when I was escaping, hijacking the whole way from South Africa to Zimbabwe, Zambia, Tanzania, Burundi, back to Rwanda. And it was an amazing experience because we didn't have money. We just decided, young people, let's have this challenge. And we got into Congo. We were not sure if my parents were still alive, and we were just looking for them on the streets, asking people. And at some point, we found my dad, and that was an amazing time. We hugged, tears, we cried tears of joy, and I just looked at my dad. He has lost a lot of weight, and he just. But that wasn't the important thing. Was that he was still alive. He was still alive, and he told me my mom was still alive as well. And so he took me to where my family stayed, and as we got there, I noticed all the people that were there looked into the face of my sister, and he wasn't looking at me. I mean, she wasn't looking at me. She was always hiding her face. And I was like, what is happening with you? And I was asking, nobody wanted to tell me. And at some point, and to also tell you this, my sister was born when I was already gone. So this was the first time. This was the first time that I saw her. And then at some point, my dad told me that she has been raped when she was 5 by 3 men, and unfortunately, she conducted AIDS, and so she felt like it was her fault that this happened to her, and this is the stigma that happens to many women that goes through this experience. And I looked at her and I was so full of bitterness and I was full of anger and I wanted to go and fight. And so um, I started preparing myself, telling the guys that we came with, you guys you need to go back alone to South Africa. I'm gonna join the rebel group, and I'm gonna try to kill the people that did this to my sister. And as I was preparing myself, because I'm in college, and at that period, it was easy. It's easy for anyone to join the rebel groups. And as I was preparing and I'm trying to say bye to my family, my sister looked for the first time into my eyes and said, "Brother, keep on loving." And I was like, what is she talking about? Keep on loving. Is she saying that I should keep on loving her and loving the people that are around? No, she didn't explain what she said. Keep on loving, and that's it. I went back and I retrieved and started thinking about this love that she's talking about, and that's when I started, uh, reflecting on things and like, guess what? You were also part of these rebel groups. You were captured. You were a kid, and all the information that you could have been given, you could have meditated on those information. In it wouldn't have been your thoughts because you didn't know anything else. And I started looking at them like, what does really love mean? Does love mean just loving those who do good things to you, or really go beyond that situation? And that's when I went and started really studying this love. And up until today, this love is what is keeping me. And even as I go and meet with the rebel, the first when I face them, I really see them as a human, and I go beyond just looking at them carrying a gun, and really try to imagine where they're coming from and what they're doing, what they have done, what they are doing. And of course, I've met with the victims as well, and it always gives me. I'm always sad to see those victims and what they have gone through, but at the same time, I know that the kids, the child soldier, they're also victims. And I think this is what the international community has really not looked at in a very good way. So they demonize all these kids and say the Congolese men are horrible, are savages, they're killing. I think the important thing is to look who put these people in this position first, and then that's when you can start really looking at them and judging them, and also you can, and in this way you can be able to better offer them a better help, I guess. And that's what I did. I didn't act at the same time. I left I left Congo after my sister said that keep on loving. Then I went back, and it took me a few years to really study this love, in everything that I was doing. And even when I got to South Africa, I got to Europe and met people that were really bad against me, and I was really acting, even practicing that love. And in other words, you call it, act in the opposite spirit. If someone really hates you, how do you react towards these people? And I think it's the same thing. I've seen you on this platform, people talking about things and telling you you are eating the money, but you always react with love, and sometimes you don't even know what you're doing. But that's for me. I look at it. I'm like, wow, she's amazing. I like the answer that she gave there, and yeah. So I don't know. I think I went too far, right?
No, no, it was wonderful. No, thank you for sharing this. I did have a question. I wanted to know how many years was it between you escaping Congo and then coming back from South Africa to see your family for the first time?
Yeah. Escaping from the Congo and coming back, it took 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah,
So you're
eight
about how
years.
old when you went back?
I was 22, 22
22.
years old. Yeah.
Yes. I don't think I'm 23, and I don't think I can even imagine having
Yeah.
to come back on those terms and seeing I have baby sisters. It would have
Yeah.
torn me up inside. I
Yeah.
cannot even imagine. And to still move with so much compassion, and then to go on to be the founder of Focus Congo, which moves with so much compassion. I respect you so much for
Thank you.
making goodness out of a really horrible experience.
Yeah.
And so was it on this trip or a later trip that you and your wife came back to Congo and founded Focus Congo?
No, actually, Focus Congo. No, this wasn't the trip. This wasn't the trip. Now, this was. It took another. Actually, I mixed up things. That trip, I was. That trip, I was. If I'm not mistaken, I was 20. The first trip,
Okay.
And the second trip, I was 24. That's when we went to Fan Focus Congo then.
Okay.
Yeah, so the first trip, I didn't know her. I was still, I was still in South Africa, and then I went to study to continue my studies in Switzerland and other countries, and that's when I went, I went back to, I went back to Congo to start Focus Congo.
Okay. And
Yeah,
so you met your wife while you were studying?
yeah, yeah.
And
I
what were
was
you studying?
what year was that?
No, what were you
I,
studying?
oh, okay. I was studying mass media and communication in Switzerland. Yes.
It's kind of
Yeah.
beautiful how that works out. Now you're like social media is like at least you're my favorite person on social media now. So you're media and
Yeah.
as we mentioned earlier, Mr. Orion is a very talented videographer. You guys should definitely check out his work and the videos that he posts on his page as well of Congo. They're very beautiful. And I wanted to also ask you about how you feel, how important is art in terms of changing the world? As somebody who's extremely creative, how much do you feel like it impacted you when making Focus Congo?
Could you repeat the question?
How much did your creativity assist you in
Oh,
becoming the founder of Focus Congo?
okay. I think mm, to to even maybe dismantle the question a little bit, I would say what made me creative first was the hardship, you know, where I came from. And so where I grew up, I never when I look back at all the kids that I grew up with, they are today they have I'm not gonna say they have no future, but the kind of life they live in is really is a horror. It's not good, you know. And sometimes I look back and I ask myself a question: will I have been in a very same position, or and sometimes I look at the war and I'm like, the war pushed me out of here so that I can go somewhere and learn a little bit about myself and return back home and do something for the people. So um, through the whole journey, I think that's when I was really learning to be creative because I remember being in Burundi as an 11-year-old and they're telling us you need to continue. And then we're like, so because I have found two other kids that were fleeing for the same reason, so we became three kids. And together with these three kids, we were like, we kind of write jokes so that we can keep on surviving. So we became almost like comedians, like, and we were performing for each other. We sleeping outside. We get one of us get sick, and to keep them going, we have to tell jokes, and then also to try and get food from people. We'll be very creative. We will sit and we will say how do we approach this situation? I mean, and now we only kids, we 11, 12 year olds, and we talking about strategies on how to get something. And I remember, so they had told us that if you send Burundi, it's not going to be good for you. You have to continue. And so we had to find a way for us to get on a ferry, which then will take us to Tanzania. So because between Congo and between Congo, Burundi, Tanzania, and Zambia, there is a Lake Tanganyika. And so from this Lake Tanganyika, if you travel from Burundi to Zambia, is about 3 days, but you make a stop in Tanzania. And so we knew they told us the boat was leaving, and we're like, we need to get on this boat. So we had to be very creative as kids to in order for us to get into this boat. I remember convincing the captain and him to putting us into an engine room, and we were sitting in engine room for 3 days. So the last day, we were very hot, and we like, no, we cannot stay, because the captain was also scared that if he brings us out there, there were Burundian soldiers on board, and if they see us, they probably would do something bad to us. And so when we came out and the soldiers saw us, where's your papers? Where are you? Why are you on this spot? And the captain really spoke for us, and he stood for us. And so basically, learning creativity, how to survive, but also I think there was, if I can call it, a higher power that was protecting us along the journey, because sometimes I cannot actually imagine the fact that we will be on they could have let us into the boats, and along the journey we crossed crocodile infested rivers, we crossed electrocuted fence, and every place we went we had to be creative. How do we do this? And so as I was on the streets in Cape Town, I knew that only being creative, you have to be creative, you have to try and survive. In order for you, you need to create something in order for you to survive on the streets. Um, and so creativity is very, very important uh, for the oppressed to survive, for them to tell their stories so that the world will get to know. And now that we have the power of social media, is very, very important, because as you know, Congo, the story of Congo is a hidden story. Is the bigger news outlets of the world, they don't want to tell what is happening in Congo, because most of them are benefiting from what is happening there. I recently commented on the BBC because they were telling the story. And then I talked about, commented, your bosses are also benefiting from this. Not that I know, but I feel like they have kept quiet, they contributed to the misery of the Congolese people. Because if the media would have uh, talked about what is happening in Congo, the atrocities that are being committed there for almost 3 decades, I think this would have ended. But they kept a blind eye. Now they see that we are opening our eyes, all of us, on this, and we are talking. They're pretending as if they really care. Yeah.
I definitely agree in that. I think with some people, like as you know, you've been working for Congo for years now, and sometimes when people see bigger networks cover it, they kind of say like, "Well, you got what you wanted. People are talking about it now," but that's not enough. They should have been talking about
Mhm.
this for decades now.
For decades, yeah.
There usually is a trail in terms of money between these major networks and the companies
Mhm.
that are responsible for these human rights violations in Congo and a lot of other countries as well. It's extremely connected. So I definitely agree with your point there. If I saw your comment, I would have liked it. I'm like, he's right, because you are right. And and so, in terms of the human rights violations that are going on in Congo, what do you think we as like citizens of the world can do to better help Congo?
Yeah. Well, I think the situation in Congo is very complex and complicated at the same time. But I think all of us have the responsibility, not only you, but me as a Congolese as well. We all have the responsibility to first learn what is happening in Congo, and what has happened, and how have we uh, benefited to what is happening. I mean, right now, the technology that we're using is probably contains something from Congo, and unfortunately we have to use it. But we can make it that it doesn't have to kill a person. This cell phone is killing a child, as even us use the luxury of it. And I think us as citizens, us all as activists, because we are all activists, we can start being responsible on everything that technologies that we buy, things that we use, it is important for us to know where is it coming from, where is it sourced from. Recently, there was a question asked. I think it was a singer, a British singer, Dua Lipa, was asking a team from Apple a question about
I saw
the
that. I saw that.
yeah, if they use if the minerals that they use is clean, and he kind of brushed that question. He said that everything that they use is fair, but I think that is a complete lie, because as you go on the website and see where they source the minerals, like it says that it's coming from China, coming from India, but they don't understand that all of these guys are buying the minerals in Congo, and then they stamped probably in Rwanda, who's used as a proxy. And once you get to China, you cannot trace it anymore. And it gets to America, Apple, of course, they are aware that this is coming from Congo, and but they keep a blind eye. So we have to lobby for this to stop. Talk to our representative, talk to our government, to really demand uh, an answer on where this minerals is really coming from. We have a lot of them. If if Congo would have started producing its raw material itself, we would have been one of the richest, if not the richest country on earth. But everything is taken by a multinational company, and of course we all know the perpetrators. Rwanda is used to subjugate, to kill, and have no sorrow. They just come. All they want is the resources, and to keep Congo silent, to keep the Congolese people silent, so that the international community just focuses on what happened. And we were all sorry about the genocide that took place in Rwanda, but we were not part of it. Congolese were not part of it. But we that happened there, and no, we're not pro genocide, but at the same time, it's taking place in Congo as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't know if you were reading the comment, but if you want to start, I just have a few more questions for you, and then we can start replying to the comments
Yeah.
and their questions there. But let's see if we covered everything. Okay, so we covered how we can help. And well, what would you say are the options for assisting Focus Congo, and as well as the mission of Focus Congo?
Mm. Okay, so Focus Congo, we started in Congo 10 years ago. And when we started was the time that the M23, the M23, the same rebels that are attacking now, took over the city of Goma, the capital city of North Kivu. And our aim was to provide assistance to orphans first, and so we partnered with orphanages and provided foods, provided education, and we've been doing that for over 10 years, really providing these things to these orphans. We've seen some of them are already in university, and some of them, and we're getting more orphans as time goes on, because time is not stopping there. But with all of this happening in Congo, with the war going on, we've had also a lot of catastrophe taking place in Congo, especially in Goma. Last time we had the volcano eruption, which really displaced a lot of people, and we had a lot of children losing their parents, and uh, we were there as Focus Congo, providing assistance to the children, taking them to our orphanages and keeping them for some time. If we find the parents, we take them there. If not, we keep them at our orphanages. So one of the orphanage right now has about 75 kids, and the other is just for girls. We have about 25 girls there. We also are operating in a South Kivu, in the city of Bukavu, where we have an orphanage, but we are also involved in healthcare. So we we realized one of the area, and it was full of displaced people, and they didn't have a proper health care. So we decided to partner with a hospital which was really in a bad condition, and so I took it my responsibility to come to Europe and started really getting proper equipment and getting funds to rebuild this hospital and give it a proper equipment so that they can also offer proper healthcare to this displaced going in this area. And so from here, from Europe to here, we have received two containers with the state-of-the-art equipment, and we bring doctors that also train other doctors in Congo how to use those equipment. And also we brought, I think, one of the first dentist equipments in the city of 3 million. So that I'm very, very proud of that because now we have it as functioning, and I'm really, really happy to have been part of that. We also running festivals of peace in the city of Bukavu, where we bring young people together and from different tribes, and we do a festival. They sing, they dance together. We had one in December, and that was a great success. But also Focus Congo, we've been also sponsoring a lot of different students and making sure that students are not young students are not aspiring to be like these politicians that we have in Congo. I know a lot of politicians in Congo are very, very corrupt, and really they don't work for the well-being of the population. They get the money and they care about themselves and the families and the money. There's children to Europe to educate themselves, but they really don't care about the normal population. So we try to teach young people the principle of government. Why should we be in a government as a young person, and what principle should you follow in order for you to become a better politician? Right now, we're seeing a lot of young people that are interested in politics and are really defending the rights of young people. In Congo, we don't have, the government has sold everything that belongs to young people. There's no entertainment centers, there is no games, there is nothing. Even the building that belonged to the government has been sold by politicians. And so instead of the government doing the job, so us as an organization at the grassroots level are doing the job of the government. And we are not the only one. There are few other organizations. I think you've come across some of them that are doing great work in displaced camps and different things. And right now, we are, ever since this fresh war started, we also started engaging in a displaced camp. And the first day when they arrived there, the first day we were there. And so what we've been doing as Focus Congo, um, so because when the war started, we didn't have a lot of support from people. So we were using our own money to really provide food for the displaced. And because of that, being there the first time, we got to know a lot of people. We have the favor once we enter the displaced camp, it's like home. The people know us, the kids know us, and so we're doing rotations. So we will go in one of the place. We will offer food to 100 families. The next day we go to a different place, and we've been doing that for over a year. Even if we don't have donations, we do it with our own money. And as you know, right now there's just so many displays. Like in one camp in Kanyaruchinya, I think we have about over 700,000 displaced people.
Oh.
700,000. And in Goma alone, there is about 7 different camps. In Bulengo, there is 200,000 people, and you have a lot of different camps around there. So the number is huge. And the first time I went there, I saw, uh, the magnitude. I was like, man, this is huge. How are we going to be able to provide food for all of these people? But what I did also, I used the same mechanism that I used when I was on the streets, because every time I wake up, I wasn't sure that I was going to get food to eat. And I was like, wow, if I did eat that day, that means these people can also be able to eat today, you know. And so I went and talked to friends, to my friends, and sometimes I talk to 10 and they say we don't have. And one will give something, even $100, and we will try to buy something to provide for these people. And then as the time went on, we started reaching out to many people. I will travel to Europe, to different countries, to talk about the story, to expose some of my pictures, to get some money and go back there, feed the displaced for some time. And then we started seeing that the situation is getting worse. And last time we were there, I was there with a team of doctors that I brought from Europe, and we realized the situation was worse, because we start seeing kids that were malnourished, and then we go to this place, to this house. They tell us the kids, 2 kids are dead there, and because they were sick, and we're like, what is the problem? So we started doing a consultation, and we realized most of these kids, they just have worms and they're malnourished. So they have this and they don't have food, and all of that combined, it becomes, of course. And this really triggered something in my heart and really wanted me to do something. And I was reaching out to people. Every time I'll do fundraisers on Instagram. Sometimes I'll raise money, sometimes people will accuse me there, but I'll keep on doing. And I'll keep on doing. If I collect 100, I'll go and get food. I'll go and get medicine to provide to at least a family. Um, and the I think 45 people that we managed to treat with those doctors, at least 35 of them are cured. They're in a good condition. That's when it shows you that it was a very simple, quick problem that could have been cured easily. But they don't have that luxury, and there's no international lot of international organizations that are coming, that are talking about Congo. If you talk to them, they tell you, yeah, we don't, it's dangerous there, we cannot go there. But I'm like, I am there, working there. I'm also a person like you guys. I've had promises even where people tell me, uh, tell me what we need, organization, and then they say, no, we cannot go to that area because we're scared. How did I get there? How am I getting people in this camp? I've had even people that have come from the States and have been to this camp. I've made it possible for them to see what is happening. And for me, this gives me joy to just see them, for them to see firsthand what is happening, and that they can be able to testify, because many people are taking this situation of Congo lightly. They don't really comprehend what is happening. They think it's just a joke. And of course, some of the people, they have developed a passion fatigue because this has just been going for a long time. If you look when we started all of this campaign, and I think you know also when I got active on TikTok, I think it was December more
Hmm.
active, and many people. There was so many people reaching out.
Right.
Right now, people are fading. That you know, and my hope was like people will keep on speaking about it. People keep on engaging and encouraging people that are doing something about Congo. And I don't understand. And sometimes I look at the other situations, like our brothers and sisters in Palestine, and I think there's a lot of engagement there, even though things are being censored. And I don't know why we cannot get this engagement for Congo or even for Sudan. You know.
Well, I just want to speak candidly. I've been
Mm,
in like liberation work since I was a kid. I'm Haitian, you know that.
mm,
So my entire life has been about talking about Haiti being able to liberate ourselves, and it's really hard to get people who aren't black to
mm,
empathize when we die. For some reason, some people they just don't feel anything when we have pain, and I think
mm,
that's what's showing even on this platform. Like you said, when I first started my fundraiser, it got so much support, and then within a few weeks, we were still doing well. And there were some people who were so angry that we were helping Congo that they tried to sabotage the fundraiser, and
mm,
for no reason, no justifiable reason. And then now, I feel like I still get support and I'm really grateful, but like you're saying, the support has waned. But
mm,
at least the way that I'm trying to do it is that I'm just seeing this as an opportunity to try something different. Because I'm not going to stop talking about Congo
yeah.
ever. I'm never going to stop talking about Sudan. I'm never going to stop
Yes,
talking about Haiti. I'm just going to
that's
keep
it.
trying until something else works just as much as the first fundraiser did. So you know that I'm with you. Everyone who's in this
Hmm.
live right now is with you. And even though some people couldn't make it today, people were
Yeah.
commenting under the videos of me talking about you, about how much they respect you and your work.
Oh,
You're
wow.
loved and you're appreciated. And then so for
Mm,
those of us who will keep going, we're just gonna keep figuring out how to better assist you.
yeah.
And once again, we're extremely grateful for you and the work that you do.
That is amazing. And I want to also tell all the people that are here. I'm not sure how many people are here, but I want to thank you
33.
very much. Sorry?
33.
Very true. But so I want to thank you very much for engaging, for being here and listening. Um, we we have been part of this ever since it started, and we have seen the people at firsthand what they're going through. I've been talking to little girls, 13-year-olds in this displaced camp, and they're telling me their stories. Some of them have been raped right there in a displaced camp. And I listen to this story, I'm like, God, please, why will this happen to these little girls? And you have children. We just a few weeks ago we had to pay for a young 13-year-old, a young boy who has joined a rebel group because the rebel group that are loyal to the government, they're also operating right close to the displaced camp.
Mhm.
These are people that have committed horrible atrocities, but they are loyal to the government. The government uh, desperately kind of supporting them, and they're still committing these atrocities even in a displaced camp. These girls told me they just come to the house and they pick them up and they take them somewhere and they have no question. And I just posted another video while we were in a displaced camp. They started shooting, and I was there and I just heard bullets all over the place. Not like one or two, like hundreds of. And I was like, okay, this is my day. And I was on the ground trying to seek for cover. And the kids that saw me kind of scared. They started laughing. the kids, the displaced, they started laughing. They're like, yeah, no, this is our life. This is happening every day here. And he comes, sometimes he kills people. And I was like, man, this is horrible. How this shouldn't be a norm, you know. It shouldn't be a norm. So I wanna tell you guys thank you for your support, for your engagement, and for listening to the song, for posting it. It is amazing. I think here on this platform, I received more support since I got here, and so I must say that actually.
I'm
Yeah,
really happy to hear that you're having some positive experiences coming from
yeah.
being here on TikTok. And if you guys are on Instagram, Mr. Orion is also over there. And you guys can also find his short films and more information about his autobiography by visiting the Focus Congo website. Some of it is in a different language, so you guys might have to translate it, but it's worth the read, I promise. And now that we have covered most of my questions, we can go back through for the next couple minutes and answer some of the questions that you guys are writing down. So if you guys have some questions, please drop them down below and we'll work through as many as possible before I let Mr. Orion get back to his busy schedule. So it seems like somebody already has seen one of your films. I'm really happy to hear that. Let me see if I can find some questions for you. Okay. I believe somebody had one up here. Okay. But yes, if you guys have some questions, please drop them down below. A lot of these comments are just people saying how much they respect you. And so, too many of us don't know where our products are coming from.
I think I know some of the people in the line. I've seen them.
A lot of my friends on here are activists. Before I did this fundraiser,
Yeah,
I was already like on activist TikTok. So everyone that I
um,
know, they are also
amazing people.
making their own fundraisers too. Okay,
Yeah.
so one question is it possible for others to document what's going on in the DRC?
Um, yeah, do they mean like coming to the DRC and be able to document or document while they are not on the ground?
Yes, it says somebody clarified like or is press allowed out in Congo?
You don't have to be allowed. I don't think I'm allowed to do what I'm doing.
so, so guys, that means you just have to risk it. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can
I
take
think,
more of
I
us.
I think, I think. The one guy. Okay, he's not oppressed, but the one guy who came all the way from the States to see the shelter project that we have in a displaced camp. He came and he didn't know that he needed a visa to Congo, and he gets to Rwanda and he's trying to cross into Congo. They told him, "No, you can't enter." And he was there, and so because he came to visit, but at that time I wasn't there on the ground, and I started contacting people that I knew, and I really wanted him to go to the shelters and to at least get the gift that he brought with was important that it reaches, and then he sees with his own eyes, even film something and go back home and show the people that have donated. So I stretch everything so that he can enter. So we took him from the border of Goma and he went around, I think about 7 hours, drove in a taxi to get to a different border where I knew people. And so they managed to get him inside, inside Congo. And then he took a boat because you need a boat from Bukavu to Goma, a 7 hour boat to get to Goma. He took so the guy, he really wanted to be there. So the guy's travel, all this travel he did, and he made it to our site, and he did 2 days, then went back, and so it was a great job. So whatever if you want to come and document, we can go. Don't worry about it,
Okay.
and you will be safe. I promise you, and we will do the work. And we need more people to document that.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
guys heard him. Put on your press vest because we needs the help. And then okay, so what's the next question? What would you say are the biggest concerns for the camps? And there any efforts to start gardening? So there, yeah,
To start what?
to start gardening. Are there
Oh
efforts to
yeah, yeah,
garden?
exactly. Oh, that you just touched a very, very good point. So the challenge in a camp is that there are a lot of challenges there. That like there are in different camps, there are also different challenges. Like we face different challenges. There's one camp, for example, the camp of Pulen, where the people are more aggressive. When you get to Kanyaruchinya, if you bring something small and you don't give to all the people, they probably will beat you. They'll beat you up. And so you have to always make sure you are strategic. Maybe for us, when we're going to distribute that we go first, we look at it, we identify people, and then we bring our vehicles, we take these people to a designated place, and we distribute the food to them. And as opposed to Kanyaruchinya, the people there is like our home. People know us, the people are not aggressive. And people told us the difference is that the people from that camp of Bulengwe, they come from almost a city. So they have the city mentality. And
Okay.
the people from the Kanyaruchinya, they come from the village. They lived, all of them, as farmers.
Oh, okay.
Each person, each family had a plot of land. They cultivated the land, and they come from a very beautiful landscape and very productive and very, very respectful people. So you get there, you are welcome. Nobody will want to take your things. It is amazing. But having said that, in the camp also, because this camp has been there for so long, and as people bring aids, they start corruption start building up. There's people that are chiefs of site. There's a chief of the camp. There's different people. So I remember when we started building our shelters, because we have to consult some of the chief of the camp, the guy who kind of look after all these 700,000 people. And when we finish building the first shelters, he wants to bring the people, his people that he has chosen himself to come and stay in our shelter. We say, no, we know the people, we have identified people that really are in dire need. There's no way you should bring, but what we what we found out is probably he has taken money from these people and promised them that he's going to give them a shelter,
Oh,
and this was going to be our shelter. Now, this is the biggest problem. If you are an international aid agency and you're just coming there, you don't know. And this is how it happens. People come from even the city, they're not displaced, and they install themselves there, and they are the one receiving aids, and the real displaced people are not receiving this. Um, so you have to really, really be careful. Who do you give your aid, your help to, who your donation to, which organization? Because a lot of organizations, the help is not reaching the people. And yeah, so the other challenge will be, of course, the situation I've just talked about. There's still in the camps, in the displaced camp, there's still some refugees, some rebels, and they're coming and recruiting children. I think I told you there was a 13-year-old who was recruited, and we had to pay money for him to get out. I have the video. I've been trying to post it, but I think some people might think otherwise, so I'll just have it there. We had to negotiate with rebels so that they can get him out, and now we have to try and occupy him to give him something so that he doesn't go back, because he's been, you know, and we paid quite some money for him, for them to let him go. So we have that, and you have girls being taken. There's a lot of prostitution in a camp. Younger girls, of course, you have from 13-year-old because of lack of food, lack of basic needs. They're busy, you know, maybe even parents even allow them. And the other issue is that rebels, they'll come there and they just capture this guy. If you have a weapon, you can do whatever you want. Mm. Third challenge, fourth challenge is the healthcare. The where the how the tents are built and where they are. There's swamp water everywhere, and sometimes there's toilets going into, and children are there, and so the uh, sanitation is crazy. It's not good. And so what we're trying to do, what we did also, first where we built our shelters was a bit away from where this swamp will come. And so there's no water drainages or something.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have yet water tanks there, so we're still raising some funds to be able to install water tanks. But the next challenge is for us, we're going to buy a bigger land. We're going to buy a land and we're going to build more durable houses there for the people. And then we're going to build a center because we realize we cannot continue uh, just giving people hands out like every time. We need to try and find a sustainable way to try and run because this war is not finishing tomorrow, and we don't know when these people are going home. And you talked about gardening. So the reason why, because we cannot garden in where we have our shelters right now, because this land doesn't belong to us. It was given to us to just be the shelters.
Okay.
So now we have to buy our own. We'll give people a small plot. They'll build, and then we'll build a center for training, and we have different ways. Obviously, we will do some research and see because we don't want to just go there and just offer them, okay, this is what you're going to do. We want to be able to know what would they like to do in their lives, and that can help them. Then we can guide them that way.
Okay.
Uh,
So I'm just
did
going
I
to
answer?
hit the highlights of that. The first thing that you touched on and like the difficulties in the camps was, the prostitution, specifically with the younger girls, as well as
Mm,
how much money you have to spend when you get the young boys out of the militant groups. And then outside of that, the sanitation, which sounds like a major issue. And
mm.
then not owning the plots of land, you can only build shelters because that's all they gave you permission for. And so sorry, I was just revising what you said for anyone who might have just came into the live. And then let's see some more questions. Alrighty, I just had it saved here. Let's see. Okay, somebody wants to know if Germany is also subventioning the troops in Congo. So I'm assuming that question means do you think Germany is participating and funding some of the militia groups, the militant?
Yeah, not directly, but indirectly because the European Union is busy pumping money into Rwanda. They believe, and directly the European Union said that they're giving Rwanda money in order for them to go and to go and peacekeep in Mozambique, because I mean the European Union has interest there, and so but they know that this money is being also used to send me to support the rebels that are busy committing atrocities in the eastern Congo, and so many countries like Germany, the they try to stay neutral, uh, but they're doing things behind the back by supporting the strong man, the man who's killing people. Uh, and you can see like a lot of German companies are busy supporting in Rwanda, and yeah, they don't actually care about what is happening in Congo. If you try and ask a question, no one no one will answer because, and some people say is because the international community didn't do anything about genocide when the genocide took place. So many of them they feel guilty to question the leader of this country. Um, yeah.
Okay. And that kind of ties in neatly to this last question,
Uh,
because people feeling guilty for communities that have experienced genocide and looking the other way as they devastate other communities, like Rwanda is doing to Congo, also what Israel is doing to Palestine.
just,
Somebody had a question, and how the liberation of Palestine and the freedom of Congo, how do those connect, or do you feel like there's a connection?
hmm. Yeah, I think where there is oppression, and I think the same people that are committing these atrocities, they're also connected because if you look at the people that are sponsoring the war, Rwanda is the current administration, the United States, UK, uh, and the same people, probably Israel, and so this is all interconnected, because also you have to understand that there's a lot of things that won't be able to function if Congo's minerals is not there. So they come extract from Congo and use it to oppress other places that they want to oppress. So yeah.
I definitely
Uh,
agree with you. Oh, sorry, you
uh,
were still making your point.
we could talk more about that issue itself, but I think it's very, very obvious. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And so I hope everyone got your questions in. We're going to be wrapping up shortly. I just wanted to remind you guys to please visit Focus Congo's website. It's linked in my bio as well. You can find more information about Focus Congo on Pappy Orion's page. Just click there so you guys can follow him and turn on the notifications so that you guys see all of his posts. They're still actively censoring content about Congo and a lot of other conflicts, so you have to be searching out for this information. Stay informed, read books, read his book about his story and his autobiography. I don't mean to butcher the name, but it is in German, Flee Main Zone, and you can find that also on the Focus Congo website. And
So
I
that
recommend.
is a run, my son. So this was the last word my dad told me when I was escaping, because yeah, my father didn't want me to become a horrible person, a rebel. So he said, "Run, my son. How I flee the war in Congo," and yeah,
That's
that's
beautiful,
the title. Um,
and I'm
could I
glad.
say one? Can I say one more thing before we
Of
leave,
course.
if you don't mind? Um, So I've been thinking of this idea, and right now I'm working on a film which I'm naming Free Congo. And so I shot it in a displaced camp with a little girl, a 13-year-old girl from a displaced girl, and she's now with her family also staying in one of our shelters. So I'm very grateful. But I have seen a lot of potential in this displaced camp, and I'm planning to do a training to raise more storytellers, young storytellers, 13-year-olds, well, 17 up, that will start. I want these people to start telling their own stories, and I could see they know how to tell the story. And so in the next few weeks, I'll be running a training, and I will provide some materials to these kids in a displaced camp, cell phone, so, and probably maybe some data. But maybe that how it will be, they will be sending to us, and then we publish it ourselves at the beginning until they can be really acquainted on how to use it themselves. So anyone who's willing to support that project, please come on board. Let's empower young communicators. We believe that if we can get more out by the people themselves that are displaced, I think it could be even more powerful.
I agree. That is a beautiful thing to do. Thank you for stopping me to say that. I should have asked what some of your future projects were. That is amazing. And I'll definitely be supporting you and
Yeah.
everybody here. Make sure you guys follow him, like I said. You can also find more information about the genocide in Congo by clicking other links in my bio towards articles. If you want to inform yourself, being informed is the most important thing you can do, because when people ask you what's happening, you need to just be able to spit out that information. And thank you once again so much for joining the live today. I am extremely grateful for your support of my fundraiser, and I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity to be able to help in any little way that I can. If there's anything you need, you got me on the DM, so you can message me and email me, and I'd be happy to assist. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we go?
Yeah, I think the next one we need to give you a Congolese name because you are Congolese.
Guys, did you hear that? I've been reading, and my family's from Haiti, and some of our
Yeah,
families are from Congo. I don't know if mine
yeah.
is. I want to do an ancestry test because I want to know where in Africa
What,
my family came
whatever the places you, you are Congolese. Like,
from.
in fact, I'm always when I'm going through it, I'm always looking, and I always think this Congolese girl, this Congolese. So, so you are one of us.
Thank you. I'm so
Yeah,
happy to be a part of the family. Oh my
yeah,
gosh. Okay, guys, I want to stop blushing. I'm so happy to hear that. We're gonna work on my Congolese name, and I'm gonna add it to my
yes.
social media. But thank you guys for everyone who joined. Somebody did have a question about you doing more interviews, and I'm going to be reaching out to all of my activist friends, those of them who are journalists, so that hopefully they'll start doing interviews with you too. And once again, I'm gonna let you guys go. You have a great rest of your day, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Bye, everybody. Be safe.
Hey, bye, everyone. Thank you for coming by. Thank you.